morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Sun Lakes. If you want to stand, we're going to sing a fun song this morning by Karen Drucker called Thank You for This Day, Spirit.
And now
welcome any newcomers. Do we have anybody that is here for the first time? Well, I know we have someone here for the second time, and I'm going to ask you to stand and introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Sheila Taylor, and I couldn't be happier to be right here, right now.
Welcome, Sheila. We have a welcoming statement for you that we're all going to say together.
Yes.
We love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. Hope you come again.
Thank you.
And now it's time for us to bow our heads in prayer, take a moment to connect, take some deep breaths as we align with our spiritual truth. Father God, you are all everywhere present, all knowing, all powerful. There is no lack of light, love, substance, or intelligence in you. And because you dwell within our hearts, there is no lack of light, love, substance, or intelligence in us. And we align with that truth. We feel it and we know it. And we're so grateful to be able to come together as a community to stand in our spiritual truth. And we know that every person that is here today is a part of our whole. And we honor and bless each other in our friendship. And we're so grateful that we come together because each and every one of us has special gifts that we're expressing the divine through us, through the grace of God. And we look forward to spending the holidays this coming week with our family or with our friends. And we have the opportunity to open our hearts and to extend ourselves as love, thereby completing our love. And to be giving generously to our families or friends or to the world by being fully active in living. And today we look at having a clear heart. And we bless this service today. We bless the musicians, our sound engineers, the people that came early to set up. We're so grateful. And we ask that through our music today, that hearts are opened and touched. And so we call this service good. And so it is. And now we'll say our mission statement together. We are a spiritual center of love and light, teaching and supporting one another in transforming our lives by living the truths taught by Jesus Christ and other master teachers. And our vision together. A world of oneness where all people are free to express their divine potential. Let's take a moment to take that in. Where we see everyone in our lives expressing their divine potential. And now I have the privilege of introducing Reverend Tony Corrigan to come up and do a special reading. And a fun fact about Tony Corrigan that maybe some of you don't know is that she was the spiritual leader of this church for 13 years.
Yeah, she was good.
Wow. And she is good. She also, in our prayer partner meeting this week, led us in Tai Chi. because she's certified in Tai Chi. So, really amazing. If you want this.
Can you see there?
Is this one working?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you wouldn't know I was certified in Tai Chi, but I'm a little wobbly today. So when I was a spiritual leader and I would pick a topic for my lesson, I always ended up picking a topic I ended up working on myself during that week. And I know Jeanne has said that also. So we will start with our spiritual reading, which is from a little booklet. Unity puts these out periodically with writings from different spiritual leaders and ministers. And this one is written by Reverend Ken Daigle, and it's called Affirming Your Way to Health. Affirmations are the most powerful medicine we can employ. What are affirmations? Affirmations are concise, positive statements of a new future unfolding in your life. Affirmations are tools used by millions of people, from professional athletes to school-aged children, to transform their lives. When you clear out an old habit or change a behavior, affirmations help to ensure the vacuum you have created is filled with the new things you desire rather than the old patterns you've just cleared out. When you create affirmations that are positive, present tense, and grounded in truth, you cannot fail. These 4 simple tips have always helped me create affirmations. This is Reverend Ken Daigle speaking. I am is one of the most powerful statements to focus your beliefs and funnel the power of the universe on your behalf. The words that follow I am are going to be seared into your consciousness and help you manifest in kind. I am strong and resilient. Let's say that together. I am strong and resilient. Positive. I am vibrant. I am healthy and whole. I am beautiful and balanced. We sometimes do not even see how our negative thoughts are embedded in our lives. Be careful if you find yourself affirming, I don't let things get me down. I overcome adversity. You might be subconsciously affirming struggle. So we have to really think about how we're phrasing our affirmations. Present tense. Set your affirmations in the here and now. Vibrant health is mine now. I appreciate and honor my body. Be careful of verbs that limit or postpone your good. For example, I will lose weight. Or next year I will be healed. Those words can keep your good away from you, for it always will be and never is. Words have power, so be clear. For example, I am getting better. While this may be true, it can keep your wholeness at bay. And affirmations grounded in truth. While your affirmations should challenge your entrenched beliefs, affirming what you believe to be false does not work. What he's saying here is, if you're really feeling yucky, maybe your mind will not accept saying, I am perfectly healthy now. But here's what he says. All you need is to find a tiny bit of faith for your affirmation to be powerful and transformative. Find some small part of you that knows the higher truth of your being and affirm that. What I'm asking you to do is to shift your perspective to affirm the glass is half full instead of half empty. As Reverend Paul Hasselbeck says, faith it till you make it. For example, you can state, I am healthy, and believe it because you know you are living a vibrant, active life, and the diagnosis you might have received does not limit your good. Are you in perfect health according to a medical standard? Maybe not, but by affirming I am healthy, you can open yourself to the areas where your body is thriving and open yourself to a state of appreciation and gratitude. And this allows your health to expand. Step by step, affirmation by affirmation, we open ourselves to the power of God in our lives. God is my health is an affirmation from the Prayer of Faith by Hannah Moore Cohouse that never fails. God is my health. I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. And I just have to tell you a little snippet about that line. God is my health, unfailing, quick. When my son Dave was about 3 years old and I was teaching the kids the Prayer of Faith, he was saying, God is my strength, unfailing, quick. That's not it. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. And today's daily word is gratitude. As I embrace gratitude, I am filled with an awareness of greatness. It might be tempting to think that we need items and events to be grateful for before we can feel genuine gratitude. However, Unity Minister Eric Butterworth suggested that it's possible to experience the feeling of gratitude without needing a special reason to be grateful. Just feel it, he advised, adding that we simply allow ourselves to feel gratitude. The flow of intelligence and love and peace and power come through us and manifest in us effectively. The practice of gratitude, Butterworth explained, gets us into a full of greatness consciousness. As I generate gratitude, it lifts my heart, quickens my mind and body, and centers me in the flow of good that is everywhere present. You have made known to me the ways of life. You will make me full of gladness with your presence. From Acts 2:28.
Thank you, Reverend Tony.
And now we'll enter into our meditation music with Francine Alexander.
In this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself my way. When I go inside and I quiet my mind and hear spirits gently say, there is only love, there is only love, love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
And if you haven't already done so, please allow your eyes to close. And just allow your body to sink deeply into your chair, allowing the relaxation to flow over and through you, soothing you until you feel a presence within you and all around you. And that presence is the presence of God. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? This is your heart calling you. We haven't spoken much lately, and I miss you. I was hoping that perhaps we could talk this morning. I know that I have a physical job working with you, keeping you strong and healthy by the constant rhythmic beat that I present through the heart. But I also want you to know that that's really nothing compared to the spiritual offerings I have for you. For when we connect through these qualities, we're connecting on the spiritual. Qualities such as love, of course, compassion, caring, patience, sharing, dignity, honor, kindness, fulfillment, appreciation, vulnerability, and gratitude, joy and beauty, and even more. And I'd like to offer you an easy way now for us to connect right now and at any time you want to in the future. And it begins with the breath. So please just focus on your breath. And allow yourself to breathe a little slower than you are right now. Breathing in and then breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And I know that for each of us, there have been times in our lives when we've had a very special experience. You might say a peak experience. Perhaps it was sharing a moment with a loved one, a spouse, a significant other, a child, or friend. Perhaps it was when you traveled to a special place for you and you were just awestruck by the beauty, by the feeling. Or maybe it was sitting down one evening and watching the sunset. Whatever experience you choose, it'll be perfect for you. So just imagine yourself stepping into that experiencing again. Allow yourself to feel that moment the way you felt it before. And what quality was there with you at that time? Did you feel compassion? Did you feel gratitude? Whatever you feel, know that I am there with you. We are connected. Maybe you even experience your heart softening now. So thank you for being willing to connect with me. Let's do it again soon. And before I leave you this morning, I want to remind you the moment of your birth, besides the gift of having life and breath, you were given certain talents by your Creator. I'm just wondering, have you used those talents to your satisfaction? Do you have a talent lying within you that you have not yet explored? You know, it's not too late. Everyone here has talents within them. No one is left out of this. It's just up to us to use them. So the voice of the heart speaks of your authentic self. And this is what I heard this morning. You are light. You are love. You are a blessing to the world. Thank you for being you. And so it is. And so it shall be forever and ever. And just allow your eyes to open and wiggle your fingers and toes and be fully present. Thank you. Thank you. Now let's say our Aramaic Lord's Prayer together as though it's the very first time you've ever said it. O birther of the cosmos, focus your light within us, make it useful. Create your reign of unity now, your one desire that acts with ours, as in all light, so in all forms. Grant us what we need each day in bread and insight. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of another's guilt. Don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what holds us back. From you is born all ruling will.
the power and the life to do the song that beautifies all. From age to age it renews. I affirm this with my whole being. Amen. And now it's time for the choir and Francine.
This is the first time the Unity Bells are back together to sing for you, and this is a very special Thanksgiving song. So how about if we make them feel a little welcome?
Some days
Weren't they fabulous? So as we go into the holidays, as we move into the holidays, Thanksgiving week coming up, this whole month we've been talking about the heart. And in many native cultures, they focus on the four-chambered heart. And so the first week we talked about having an open heart, where we know ourselves as love, and so we extend that love, thereby we complete our love. And the second we talked about having a full heart, which means we have a generous heart, and we are fully engaged in living life. And so this week, we're going to talk about having a clear heart. And so what does that mean, having a clear heart? It means that we're willing to forgive. And a clear heart makes no assumptions. Which means, said differently, a clear heart is liberated and free because we are willing to forgive and we make no assumptions. So we're going to explore and experience the characteristics of the clear heart this morning. The clear heart is willing to forgive. Now, there's millions of books about forgiveness. But in the realm of forgiveness, talk is cheap. Words don't mean anything. We have to have a willingness to actually do it. And we have to be willing to do it on an ongoing basis. We may forgive yesterday, but today something happened. Because of the way our mind works, things bubble back up again. I know I've said it many times. This again? I dealt with this 10 years ago. Martin Luther King once said, forgiveness is not an occasional act. It's a permanent attitude. To truly embrace having a permanent attitude takes shifts in perspective. And this morning I want to suggest two very powerful shifts for us. And they might seem like big ones, but I pose that they aren't because they're really who we are. The first shift is about seeing from the other person's perspective. And to help us understand this idea, Dr. Greg Bear, who both wrote the book Real Love, he had this story in one of his books. So let's suppose you're having lunch at a fancy hotel resort. You're outside enjoying, you're all dressed up, and you're having a blast with your good friend, great company. And all of a sudden you get splashed by someone that's in the pool. And it gets your shoes wet. You take a breath, but then you just continue to go on with your lunch until whap, you get whacked with a whole lot of water by somebody that's having a ball in the pool. And so you get your feathers ruffled, and you walk over to the pool, and you see that a man is drowning. Are you upset anymore? You're not upset anymore about your shoes. So let's take a little touch in right now to your emotions. We don't need to forgive anybody. All we did was shift our perception of what was going on in that pool. So the truth, lowercase truth, is that every act of unkindness, hurt, destruction that one person does to another is done because the perpetrator is drowning. They're drowning in their own pain, fear, hurt, confusion, and they are just trying to save themselves. That's the truth, isn't it? We all know it. Longfellow once wrote, "If we could read the secret history of our enemies, we would find in each person's story enough suffering and sorrow there to disarm all hostilities." So that's the shift in perspective that I'm proposing this morning, to be willing to see from another's perspective. To have a clear heart, we must be able to make this shift. The second shift is about seeing things from the other person's perspective, but rather about seeing the other person from a different perspective. So let me say that again. The second shift is about seeing things from the other person's perspective. Sorry, I did it again. It isn't about seeing things from the other person's perspective, but rather about seeing the other person from a different perspective. And this is called radical forgiveness. How many are familiar with Colin Tippin's work? His work saved my life. He has a workshop or a worksheet online. Anything that's bothering you at all, pull up the worksheet that he has online, and it'll work you right through to forgiveness, radical forgiveness. So I want to cut to the chase and tell you the bottom line. From radical forgiveness perspective, we realize that everything that we have experienced, we have called in for our highest good. For the evolution of our souls. So this type of person that hurts us, the Dalai Lama calls a sacred friend. Somebody who helps you grow your heart, if you are willing. And what is interesting is that when we have these two shifts in perspective, truly, deeply, genuinely have them, when we see from the other person's perspective, and when we see the other person from a different perspective, there really isn't any need to forgive. They are different emotions, compassion, understanding, empathy in the first, and gratitude and appreciation in the second. So a clear heart is free from assumptions. Let's talk about assumptions. Those of you who have read Don Miguel Ruiz's great book, The Four Agreements, know that don't make any assumptions is the third of the four agreements. They can really lead us astray. I have a song about it. So here's an example. This ad appeared in the Atlanta Journal. Single black female seeks male companionship. Ethnicity, not important. I'm a very good-looking girl who loves to play. I love long walks in the woods, campfires, fishing trips, and cozy winter nights lying by the fire. Lovingly prepared dinners will have me eating out of your hands. I will be at the front door when you get home from work, dressed in what nature gave me. Kiss me and I'm yours. Call 782-9876. Ask for Daisy. Would you be like the more than 150 men who called that number and were quite surprised that they found themselves talking to the Humane Society? Labrador retriever puppy. There are so many things that our minds cannot explain. We have all these questions that need answers. So instead of asking questions when we don't know something, we fill in the gaps with our imagination. And the problem with making assumptions is that we believe they're the truth. We invent whole stories that are only truth for us, but we believe them and then we act from them. I know, everybody's heads, yeah, we know. We assume we are right about something to the point that we will damage or destroy a relationship in order to defend our position. Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people that we supposedly love. Often we make assumptions that our partners already know what we think and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume that they're going to do it because they know us so well. And then if they don't do it, we assume that they should do, then we feel hurt. And we say, how could you do that? You should have known. So in the 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz writes, the way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you're clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. And this is the path to personal freedom. Ruiz suggests that by making this one agreement habit, your whole life will be completely transformed. He said, once you recover all the energy that you've invested in making assumptions, you can use the energy to create a whole new dream, your personal little heaven. And that's quite liberating. Barbara and I, we've been business partners for 20 years. And believe me, over the years, we've made assumptions about each other. And it's usually, I'm doing all the work. What is she doing over there? Watching TV with her husband and her daughter? What am I doing? I have to do everything. And finally, I have to get the courage to say, you know what? I need to have a conversation here. I'm miserable. I'm exhausted because of all my assumptions going on. But we have a commitment to be in the chaos of the conversation, to say all the ugly, hear it, and then be willing to listen to her side of the story. And it's worked for us over the years. I don't know very many people that are best friends and business partners for 20 years. But it's because of this one thing. And we are as human as all get out. We make all kinds of assumptions. But I'm so grateful I get to say it. I get to say what's there for me to say. And it'll hurt her. But then she says back to me, I had this, I had this, I had this, I've been doing this. Well, tell me. That's all you needed to do was tell me. And she said, well, all you needed to do was ask. So it's a beautiful commitment. No more assumptions. Be willing, have the courage to ask what's going on. It's like you're in the dark and you turn the light on. Liberated from all that fear and all that conflict. And story. So there we have it. A clear heart is liberated and free because it is willing to forgive and it makes no assumptions. So let's close our eyes for just a brief moment and think about this week as you go into Thanksgiving with your family and your friends. If there is any fear, any conflict, to think of the the person, perhaps, that you're willing to forgive, radically forgive, seeing them from a different perspective. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And we now have a song. First, we have an affirmation. Let's say our affirmation together. Hold on. Ready? Okay. I am willing to forgive and make no assumptions. I have a clear heart that is liberated and free. Yes. This is from Godspell, All Good Gifts, and I invite you to sing along. There's one thing in here that says all good gifts around us are sent from heaven above, and I just was resisting it all week. I don't want to sing above, because that's me when I was a little girl, putting God way up here in the sky. But you know what? God's in heaven, which is right here, but I only have access to God right here when I raise my vibration and I'm in alignment high above, in my alignment with God inside. So I'm good with the words. You good with the words?
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay, let's do it. Plow the fields and scatter the good seed on the land, but it is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. He sends the snow in winter, the warmth to swell the grain, the breezes and the sunshine, and soft refreshing rain. All good gifts surround us, are sent from heaven above, and thank the Lord for all His love. Thank Thee then, O Father, for all things bright and good, the seed time and the harvest, our life, our health, our food, the gifts we have to offer, for all Thy love imparts. But that which Thou desirest, our humble thankful heart. Oh boy. All good gifts surround us, are sent from heaven above, and thank the Lord for all His love. I really want to thank You, Lord. I want to thank You, Lord. I want to thank You, Lord. And now it's time to bring our blessings together, our offering. We place them on our hearts. Tithe here for spiritual food. That we want more light, more love, more blessings. And so let's affirm our offering blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. I am so blessed. Thank you, God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And again, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed.
And we say together, we give thanks for these many blessings of today, and know they are but a symbol of the inexhaustible substance of the universe. I give thanks that 10 times this much is now on its way to me, and quickly manifests in perfect ways. Thank you, God. Announcements. So, Lois, are we doing Reiki this week?
Yes, we are.
Reiki Tuesday, 9:30. Christine, do you have tickets for the Sun Lakes Chorale Holiday Concert?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. So see Christine if you want to go to the concert on December 12th at 7 p.m. The cost is $12? 10. Wow, I have that wrong. 10.
12.
It's on the 12th at 7 p.m. Our prayer partner this morning is Barbara Kelly, and she will be in the back over here if you would like some personal prayer. We did have our prayer partner meeting this last Thursday. It was fabulous. I encourage all of you to come. It's the third Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. We also have the prayer box in the back. If you would like to write your own personal prayers down, they will be sent to Silent Unity and prayed for 30 days. We also have the Explorers. Did you want to talk about the Christmas dinner?
Oh, please. I just think it's wonderful the way you people respond. People came this morning, they read their emails, they came with their checks. It's a wonderful thing. And that was very thoughtful of Julia to think of that. I hadn't thought of it. Anyway, I have an envelope which I'm going to put back there on the table. I do want to tell you two things. One thing is the price that you got includes the gratuity and the tax. So that's completely it. That's all you have to pay. And if you are interested in having a dessert, will you please write a little $2 right beside the number where your name is, right? Because not everybody wants dessert. None of us need it, but it's so good. And the other thing I wanted to tell you was I goofed on describing the pasta dish, and I went back over yesterday and talked to the manager. And that pasta dish means that the pasta is made with zucchini. So anybody who has a gluten problem can eat this pasta, no problem. And it also comes with a filet mignon.
Oh, I'm there.
My favorite steak. I don't know about you, but the filet will be cooked and then sliced and put on top of the pasta. And I think that sounds wonderful. So if you signed up for the pasta, that is what you will be getting. So if everybody will just put your check and your money back there, I'll collect it up and guard it with my life.
And we write the checks to?
We write the checks to Palo Verde HOA number 2. But the money for the dessert has to be in cash. Thank you. Because we're going to buy our own. They didn't have very interesting sounding desserts and they were expensive, so we decided to buy our own.
Okay.
So are we writing a check for $25? Is that what we're writing a check
We're
for?
writing a check for $25.
Okay.
And Bettina, you have an announcement?
Yes.
What's the matter?
That's a good idea.
It's not, Betty has different prices, not just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Oh,
This is.
there's something wrong with that?
Yeah, what's the 25?
Betty has about 4 different prices for the luncheon meal,
Oh.
$25.
Oh, I didn't understand that.
You order. Yeah.
Okay.
I've already made the check out of some lights as per what was on the email.
Okay. And Bettina has an announcement?
I'm going to do a little holiday joy potluck on December the 7th, which is a Saturday at 2 o'clock. And I apologize, I ran out of invitations. So I'm going to put the information of my address and the time and my phone number if you'd like to RSVP. And if not, I'm going to have a turkey and stuffing and just some veggies and salads would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, that's sweet. We can also email that information out. Kenny, did you have an announcement?
I do. I do have an announcement. Jeanne and I received a letter from Worldwide Ministries headquarters this week, and Jeanne is now an accepted spiritual leader of Unity Church of Sun Lake. And our church is recognized as a Unity Church, which I understand it has not been for several years. Now, this has bugged me for quite some time because I knew when we called Jeanne to be our minister that that included her being our spiritual leader, which I appreciate. But more importantly, Jeanne was a ordained New Thought minister. As such, she came to our church as our minister. And that's the way I intend to refer to Jeanne, as our minister, because that means something to us. She ministers to our congregation and members when they're in need. That goes way beyond what a spiritual leader is. And that's the role she serves, and that's the way I intend to refer to her, as well as in all of our announcements as far as the splash, because probably I would guess at least 2/3 of this congregation came to us from other faiths. And I'm guessing new members will be likewise. So our growth depends on that. And to Worldwide Ministries, well, they can go take a fly and leave. Because we're going to do our own thing for the good of our own congregation. Thank you.
Today is a very special day. This is Kenny's birthday, so let's sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
What's happened to that?
What?
The other section of it.
I just need Betty to clarify
I guess it
that.
didn't get
Okay.
done.
Betty, we need clarification on
Oh, there you have it.
the tickets.
Okay. What do we need to know?
The email says certain amounts, and that just said 25, so the email is what we do.
email, it's my fault.
The amounts for the dinner.
Checkouts of Sun Lakes number 2, not
Yeah, Sun Lakes HOA number 2, that's right.
But,
The amount.
the amount,
The amount of, wasn't the amount on the email?
That's what I'm saying.
We didn't get it because I put $25 on the slide. That's what confused me.
oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Because we did talk about just charging everybody a certain amount, but the dinners do come, or the lunches do come at different prices.
Okay.
So I think we have that sheet over here, do we not? We have the sign-up sheet, and underneath it should be the sheet that tells you how much. So that total amount is what you need
Thank
to
you.
pay. Okay, sorry for the confusion.
No, my fault. Thank you.
Isn't it on the 12th? Yeah, that's a.
No, it's on the 11th.
It's on December 11th. It's a Wednesday. It's on Wednesday.
Because the sheet on the table says the 12th. It just said the 12th.
It said the 12th?
Yeah, it said the 11th.
Did I have that wrong too? Dear God. Sorry.
No, it says the 11th.
It says the 11th.
It says the 11th right here.
I think I spoke the 12th. Okay. Jonathan.
Just so everyone is aware, somebody lost a set of car keys back there on the table. I do have them, so if you are missing your car keys, please see me after the service and I will get them back to you.
There you are.
All right, let's all stand and sing the peace song.